Diving in the P-40 Warhawk. About 300 miles an hour, he's pulling nose on up into the vertical. Slight quarter roll to the left as he eases the nose on up over in a quarter cloverleaf. Now as he dives back down, the back side of the looping portion, he's going to break that off and continue on out to the left. The aircraft built by Curtiss, known as the Warhawk, the Kitty Hawk, the Tomahawk, depends on which Air Force is operating it. Powered by a liquid-cooled V12 engine of some 1,710 cubic inches, about 1,500 horsepower as he comes up over the top of the loop. Completes 5/8 of it and dives down on a 45-degree line, performing 1/2 of a figure 8 lying on its side, a maneuver we call the Cuban 8. Here's the nose tracking through the vertical once again. On up over the top, bringing it back down to the horizon. Full power coming on as he floats over the top of an inside or barnstormer's loop. As he pulled back on the stick, the G-forces encountered were about 3.5 to 4 times the positive force of gravity, a 4G pull up over the top of the loop. Dan Dameo, flying this P-40 Warhawk. And I must point out that it's superbly maintained by Little John, who's been a crew chief for Dan for over 20 years on the P-40 and the P-51. And the FG-1 Corsair. Little John from Edison, New Jersey, you do a great job, Little John. Nice, beautiful victory roll by Dan Dameo in the P-40 Warhawk. P-40 Warhawk, although not the most maneuverable or fastest fighter of its time, don't forget it was at the beginning of the war that this was used back in the early 40s. 6 50 caliber machine guns on board, 3 in each wing. And you notice the familiar shark mouth markings on the nacelle of the airplane. I'll tell you about that in a second as we watch Dan Dameo diving in from the right. Building up a high rate of speed, over 300 miles an hour. Loads up the wings once again with about 4 times the weight of the airplane. A 4G pull over the top. Correct for the wind. The wind's trying to blow him toward the ground. He makes a nice correction as he came over the top, rolling into the direction of the winds to correct that. Nicely done by Dan Dameo in the P-40 Warhawk. We mentioned the other names of it, but let's tell you a little bit about that shark mouth. The airplanes of the AVG, the American Volunteer Group, in southwest China, flying for General Claire Chennault as the Flying Tigers, received these airplanes, some of their early airplanes, from the RAF, who was flying the airplane as Tomahawks and Kitty Hawks in North Africa against the Germans, and they were painted with that shark mouth on the nacelles when the AVG pilots received them. Up and up he goes in a big victory roll. And in fact, those RAF pilots that painted the shark mouth on the nose of the airplanes got it from the Germans. They saw some pictures of a German twin-engine bomber aircraft, fighter bomber, that had the shark mouth on. They locked it and said, hey, let's put it on ours. Well, when they went to the AVG, they kept it on there. And it's even in use today on the A-10 Thunderbolt II, the Air Force unit that grew out of the American Volunteer Group in South China. Here's a high-speed pass and a photo pass by Dan Dameo and the Warhawk. Left wing just a little bit less than level. Thanks a lot, Dan. Make a liar out of me. He's made a beautiful wheel landing. Probably holding a little bit of left stick right now to keep the wings level, but a beautiful wheel landing in a crosswind situation by Dan Dameo. Several years ago, had the opportunity to be present when Dan Dameo was presented with his Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award, which is awarded to pilots for 50 consecutive years of safe flying. And I can tell you, he could have earned it about 10 years before he was awarded that 50-year award, the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. Dan Dameo from Bridgewater, New Jersey. Rated in the P-40, the P-51. The FG-1 Corsair, the Goodyear-built version of the F-4U Corsair, and many, many other aircraft and many other warbirds. He's also a commercial pilot, flying corporate aircraft. Highly skilled and highly accomplished. Dan Dameo. Our C-47 taxiing out, one of our transport aircraft that's going to be flying for you. The World War II version of the C-130, the workhorse transport aircraft.